It is a time and a place for everything, and sometimes those extra nails don't be it. Hi gems, welcome back to my channel. If you're just now coming in, make sure you don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like the video. So I already put the nail tips on, and now it's time to take my handy dandy scissors. Look how cute, y'all. It's in the shape of a bird and I didn't even realize it. To shape the nails to make this process real quick and simple. So for that clean girl aesthetic, you always got to go for that almond shaped nails, huh? Making sure that the scissors line up with the middle of the nail tip and just angle it to the side. Now, once you go to cut it, it is going to give like a coffin nail, and that's how you know you done did it right. Now you can either shape this two ways, with your drill, or you can use your hand file. Now I like to season my hand file with the drill because sometimes you go rub it together with the other files, but that takes too much work. And you can tell by my sanding bit how sharp the edges of that file is. Like, it's really very sharp. So you want to make sure you season it, and seasoning is just taking away those sharp edges on the file. Now I'm going to cut on my drill and start to use it to file my nails. Now with the drill, it will give you the shape that you need, but it won't give you the crisp shape like using a hand file. I wanted to show y'all that way to give y'all that option if y'all wanted to do it that way, but I'm gonna go in with this hand file because it gets the job done. Now this hand file that I have, I use 80/80 grit. Now the lower the grit, the more rough it's going to be, or coarser it's going to be. Now the coarser it is, the faster it'll file the nails, but the only thing you have to look out for is seasoning those edges, because they can be really sharp and you could cut your client if you don't season it enough. You really want to file your nails good and get the blueprint as perfect as you can. Nothing cannot always be perfect, but close to perfect. Now, once you get it close to perfect, once you do your application, you're not going to have to go back and do that much filing. To get that crisp, slim almond shape, what you want for your clean girl aesthetic nails, you want to angle the file in the middle of the nail. Not towards the end of the nail, like right in the middle is where you want to go in, like kind of like at a hard angle, like how I'm doing right now. Like you kind of want to get it in there. You don't want to be too light because you want them to be slim. You don't want them to end up being round. And that's what I noticed when I would do my almond. I always was wondering, why does it look more round than almond? Because I'm not going in at an angle in the middle of the nail. You don't want to go in at the beginning of the nail because you don't want it to be skinny right there. You want it to have a seamless blend from the sidewall of your nails to the middle. But you just want it to be slimmer to make that point at the end of the nail. the application, you want to wet your brush enough, but just on one side where the bead is going to stick at. So you want to get it all soaked and wipe it off just a little bit, and you want to stop right there in the middle so that the wet side and you have a dry side. The wet side is the side that you're going to dip in the powder. Picking up a small bead because you want this to be real seamless and you want to have control over the bead. So I'm going to just dry it off a little bit on the paper towel so it's not too runny once I place it on the nail. Keeping your brush wet is the key to pulling your first bead down the nail because you don't want to drag it, because at that point you're going to be wasting product if you just place it down and drag down the nail, when you can just maneuver the bead down the nail and save product. Keeping the brush wet will allow it to smoothly move down the nail, and the acrylic will not get stuck to your brush as long as the brush is wet. And this step is really important when placing your acrylic because you really want to keep your shape, because you don't want to do all that work and then have to go back and file 10 times harder when it's time to file the nail. When placing a first bead, you want to pull that one down because that's where most of the structure is going to come from at the end of your nail. Now, the second beads and the rest of them, you want to drag it down. Once you place the second bead, you want to press it down some to where it becomes flush with the nail, because you don't want it to be a big old hump right there once you start your next bead. As long as you're placing the beads properly, your apex is going to automatically form. You just want everything to be really even and smooth. So when you go to file, it's just like the finishing touches. You're not doing too much. Turn your finger to the side to make sure you don't have any humps, lumps, or bumps that you can fix right then and there. Powders also make a difference on how your application is going to come out. Dynamic and Valentino are great powders, especially for beginners if you're just starting out. The amount of liquid that you have on your brush does play an important part. Placing the cuticle bead is going to make this look come all together. So once you place it, you want to kind of center it and push it up. And then you're going to point your finger down and let gravity do the work. Because pointing your finger down is going to allow the product to flow downwards and seal the cuticle for you, instead of you just holding your finger straight. Then it kind of makes room for the product to go into your cuticle area, and you don't want that. The second most important step, they have so many important steps, but is sealing the cuticle and filing the nail with the drill. You want to keep the drill parallel to the nail so your nail could come out evenly and smooth as possible, and it just flows from the front to the back. You see how even and smooth that is? Like the apex just flows into the front of the nail and the back of the nail. You don't want to turn your nail to the side and be like, oh, damn, that's a big old bump in the middle of their nail. You want it to be like, okay, their nail has an apex and it flows seamlessly with the nail. You don't want it to be sticking out, but you want it to see that you have an apex. I don't know if that makes sense. I would have a really bad habit of tilting the drill up to get into the cuticle and be like, oh my goodness, I gotta get all in there. I gotta tilt it up to get the cuticle. But when you really don't, as long as you're keeping the drill parallel to the nail, it's going to seal the cuticle. I don't have to dig into their nail to seal the cuticles because that's going to create the ring of fire and it's going to damage your client's natural nails. The materials that you're going to need to make these nails come to life is your top coat. Usually we're going with the matte, but today we need to go in with the regular. Taking any sheer nude or sheer pink that you have, anything that's not too pigmented because you want it to be kind of see-through. Now, last but not least, you want to have your chrome. Now, the chrome that you want to have is like the pearly chrome. It's kind of look white-ish, and it's going to really give the nails that pearl effect. It is so pretty. So let's get to it. So taking your top coat. Now, the reason why I wanted to use the top coat before I went in with the polish is because I wanted the polish to go on really smoothly, because since it's sheer, it can seep into the scratches of the nail, and that's what I'd be scared of. And when it does that, it kind of creates like these lines through the nail, and I don't like that. So to avoid any of that, I'm going to go in with the top coat, the sealing all those scratches, and then I'm going to paint the gel polish on top of the top coat. When I go in with my sheer pink, I am going to do 2 coats of that, because the first coat, it was a little too light. Like, honestly, it still looked like the top coat. So I just went back in to give it a little more pigment to it. Not so it could be super pigmented to where you can't see through it, but pigmented enough to where you see that the color is pink. Now, while my nails still have that tacky layer on there, I'm going to use this to my advantage and go ahead and apply the chrome so it can have something to stick to. This is the final look, and I hope some of my tips helped you out. And I'm going to see you guys in my next one. Bye.